All right, guys, I'm going to just put this on out there. This might be the best Pixar film they've done in quite a few years. So Elemental is the new Pixar film directed by Peter Sohn, which tells the story of Ember, who is the daughter of a shopkeeper in Firetown, who is part of the fire element people, and she is the next in line to run their shop, and all the family's hopes and dreams and the future lies on her. But is that really what she wants? And when she comes across a water element person named Wade, things get a little more complicated, as the rule seems to be in this city, in this world, that the elements don't mix. But Wade and Ember form a really good chemistry, and we see what happens as the story unfolds. And this is, I think, Pixar's first romantic comedy, if you want to call it that. It's got all those elements to it, and it really balances everything out really well, especially with the world they build here, where all the elements have different quirks and different kind of aspects that the city is kind of built around, except for the fire elements. They seem to kind of be the outsider, and this story is a story about immigration, because Ember's father and mom immigrate to Element City from their home in hopes of building a new life. So it's based essentially on Peter's son's real life story of his family immigrating from Korea. So very interesting elements there that they weave that in on top of a kind of a star-crossed lovers kind of story, and then throwing in the comedy in there. It is a balancing act that is actually done really well. And the voice cast here is actually really good, and if you see the faces of the voice actors, you probably recognize them, but you might not know their names. So playing Ember Lumen is Leah Lewis. Mamoudou Athie plays Wade. Ronnie Del Carman as Bernie Lumen, that's Ember's father. Shila Ommi as Cinder Lumen, and then Wendi McLendon-Covey as Gail Cumulus. And she might look familiar. She's from the Goldbergs, and she's had stints on other shows. Her voice sounded familiar, and I couldn't place the name to the face, but as soon as I saw the behind the scenes of all the voice actors, I was like, oh, I know that lady. So it's a very solid, very good voice cast, and they all do really great stuff here. It is really great how they just embody these characters, and not for a second was I really thinking about who. There's a couple of people who I was like, the voices sounded familiar, but then for the most part they were just these characters, and it allowed me to just sink into this world and be a part of this great, beautiful world that they were building. And of course, they draw a lot of great parallels to stuff that goes on in real life. The people from the fire element nation, or fire element people, I guess, they are a little more ostracized. They're outsiders. The city was not built with them in mind, and they've had to forge their own path and forge their own way of being that's kind of been separate from Element City. And seeing kind of that clash, and these two worlds clash, and then the possibilities of where things could go is very interesting. And then with Ember's story itself, she is the heiress, if you want to call her an heiress, but she's next in line to run her dad's shop. And the fact that this may or may not be her dream, and she might have other aspirations, and it is a story about, wanting to please or to not step on your family's legacy, but still also forging your own path and doing what you feel like you need to do. And it's a very, very interesting, very touching story. And I think Pixar finally got back to what they do best. It's been a few movies. I liked Turning Red quite a bit. I liked Soul. I liked, a few of their other offerings. But it has been a number of years since I have come out of a Pixar film going, this is top tier. This is some of the best Pixar has ever Pixared. And this film does it. This film completely, bunks the trend that they've had, where they've just been, Pixar's been good, not great. And especially Lightyear kind of disappointed me a little bit. So this is refreshing. This is a fantastic development for Pixar. This is something that I would love to see more from. It's a great, interesting world, and I'm sure they're going to mine this thing for all it's worth at some point. It truly is, something I think everybody should see. And it stinks because there's stories out there saying that this is the lowest opening for a Pixar film, which bums me out because this is probably one of their better efforts. And I know the trailers don't really look all that appealing, and maybe the art style isn't quite what you would imagine from a Pixar film. But let me tell you right up front, you get used to I think the fire animation and the water animation kind of throw you off a little bit, because I think the cloud, the air and the earth elements look typical Pixar, but kind of the melding of this kind of different style with the fire and the water and melding it into everything else was a little off-putting in the trailers. And I don't feel like they sold exactly what this story could be from the trailer. Like, they give you the nuggets of like their two elements that are going to get together that shouldn't, should they even get together kind of thing, to the father wanting his daughter to take over a shop kind of thing. But it does go in some other interesting directions, and they do a lot of great comedy, a lot of great, I won't say action scenes, but great, set pieces that just are awe-inspiring. And, I think this is one of the better looking Pixar films. It's definitely one of the most creative Pixar films, and it's a very emotional Pixar film, which is their bread and butter. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give Elemental a firm A. It is that good. It is something I think everybody should go check out. It's definitely the best Pixar film in at least 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years. It's been a while, like maybe since Toy Story 4, that something has been this good. I'd have to go back and really look, but it does feel like it's been a while. And of course, I'd love to mention at the front of the Pixar, they always play a short usually, and they have a short called Carl Goes on a Date. The guy from Up. It's a story about him and Doug getting ready for Carl to go on his first date, and it's really cute. It's really wholesome, a lot of fun. I almost debated on just doing a standalone review for that little short, but that alone was also added to this experience in the theater, and I would recommend everybody go out and check that out. So what do you guys think? Are you big Pixar fans? Have you gone to see Elemental? Do you plan on seeing Elemental? Are you not seeing Elemental? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys could also please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the little bell notification to be notified whenever I drop new videos. And if you guys could please come back around next time. Got a few more reviews coming, but just trucking along here, and I appreciate all the support. And until the next review, I'll be seeing you.